Hey everyone, and welcome to the next edition of the Snapchat. I'm joined today, as I always am, by the man who's dressed like a Hawaiian surfer. I don't even know. Is that a surfer shirt? What is that? It's like sweater. I don't even know what you're dressed like.
When I get stopped and people ask about it, I like to say that I'm one of those guys that help land the airplanes. You know, that do this, but I'm the cone, like I'm the stick that they wave.
You're the stick that they wave?
To land the plane.
Aren't they just red? Those sticks, aren't they just red sticks?
This would do a much better job of landing the plane, all right? That's all I know. This has been I've had, this thing is like, it's almost dying. And I can't, you want to know the catch? All my content lately has been green screen, and this, you cannot wear this thing on. I'm like see-through, bro, completely. So I'm like, you know what? In the most like metal hard, look at this like, art in the middle, and then I'm wearing this. It's fantastic.
It actually reminded me, I think it was Dexter that said, did he say that we were somewhere, right? And it's so funny because like we were out and someone recognized you. They're like, hey, Cozy. And like they were like talking to you. They were super excited to meet you. And I was like, and they were a Snapchat fan. And I was standing right beside you, but they didn't even notice I was there.
It's a beacon.
And then Dexter's like, yeah, he's peacocking.
Peacock, yeah, that's the goal. I try to peacock in my life. I didn't even know what that meant. I think until you said it. I think I heard it in a movie or something. It's like,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's about the fact it's like I was dressed like this, and then you're wearing like I think you're wearing that green the teal jacket that you always have with the wolf on it.
Oh yeah. You look like a Greek god, might I say, right now.
I look like a Greek god.
You look great. You do.
Which one? The one that just drinks until he's blacking out.
Yeah, there's the wine god, bear or something, bee something. Well, I should know this from my. Anyway, what I do have to tell you something. I was in a Costco this week. I hate your effect on me. Like it's like when you go to church, you think about God. I go to Costco, I think about Alex, and I can't escape you. I can't. And can I tell you what else I hate, bro? Is I hate that you're right about it. Like I'm around, I'm getting the samples. Like I had some, what the hell, the corned beef sample. I don't eat corned beef a lot. I was like, this is fantastic. This whole place is great. Look at the deal. I don't even need that. And I'm going to buy that. That's what I think they do well. And it's all good tasting too. I hate you.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. Yeah, Costco's fantastic. And I was actually, sometimes I wonder, I'm like, yo, if I were to start just loading buggies with toilet paper, could I start the toilet paper run like right here, right now in Canada, where someone like takes a TikTok of me loading carts worth of toilet paper and it just kind of moves through it goes viral. Ooh. And then all of a sudden everyone's hoarding toilet paper again. No one knows why. They're like, tariffs, you got to get the toilet paper. They're going to tariff the toilet paper. And then it's like, I don't know, man. I had that thought. I was in Costco, I was staring at the pile of toilet paper. I'm like, could I do this right now? Could I do it?
Every time I look at their clothes section, I'm like, Alex would wear that. Oh, look at that. Another Alex original right there.
Buddy, where do you think I got this shirt right here?
Definitely Costco.
This was like $16 at Costco.
That definitely has the Costco look to it. Yeah, it's great. You are. I know. It's a shame they've never sponsored you. It would be a very big waste of their sponsorship money. I don't know if card gaming and Costco really well, a little bit. Physical card products.
Dude, they have Magic the Gathering commander decks right now. I actually took a picture of them.
The new ones?
And I thought about it. I'm like, man, should I tweet out because I wasn't sure which ones? There's like 4 different commander decks. It's the Outlaw Junction ones.
Oh, okay.
And they have like 4 different ones. And I was like, oh, I kind of only want to buy 1 or 2. Like, which one should I buy? And I was going to throw it out there. Actually, if you're listening to this and you want to give me your opinion, let me know in the comments.
Did you got to get the new? There's a new Spider-Man one coming out later this year. They're doing I don't know if it's Secret Lair, but they're doing a new Magic crossover with Spider-Man. It's gonna be sick. And the Magic ones that they have with Marvel already is impeccable. And there's some of the best. Storm's like the single best commander right now. One of them. That's
unbelievable. Yeah, I gotta figure it out. Like I bought a whole bunch of the Fallout ones. I showed you the dog meat one. I was hunting for the dog meat one forever.
We should do a commander with like me, you, and Dexter, because commander's such a social game, right? So like it would be so fun to have like the 4 of us who don't play that often, right? But when we played all together, it would be so. I feel like me and you would win because like we. I'm not attacking you.
We're just winners, baby.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna attack your face. You know what I mean? I'm like, I love you. I can't. Dexter has an attackable face, but I can't attack you.
You can't attack Dexter. He's too cute.
Who else would be in there? Who'd be our 4th? Ben? Get
Brode on it?
Get
We're
Brode
gonna
on
make
this.
this happen. Do Commander with dude,
I
Glenn.
texted him yesterday.
Obviously,
Glenn would be great. I texted Ben.
Glenn would destroy us though. Like he actually played a ton of Magic.
Glenn would
he made
wreck
Magic.
us. We can't play. Yeah, we can't play. He's like an advisor to half the stuff they make. Yeah, I'm not gonna get Glenn. I texted Ben the other day and he was in the middle of jury duty.
He responded to you.
Yeah, well, later.
That's the pull you have.
It was a little later. It was like an hour. He was like, "Hey, bro, mid jury duty, what's up?" And I was like, "No big deal. I need you to do this." And I was gonna ask him to do a whole bit. And he's he's like, "I'm not near anything." I'm like, "Just film you where you are right now." And he's like, "Cameras are illegal." I'm like, "Screw it." But yeah, we would have Ben as our fourth. What are we talking about today? What are we doing again today over here? What is this? Are we filming?
I don't know, but if you want to know the difference between Cozy Snap and Alexander Coccia, it's that if I were to text Ben Brode, his response would have been, "Who's this?"
I think you're selling yourself short, Alex Coccia. You're a famous man.
You know what? I'm only famous because I get to spend my podcasting days with the peacock himself. What can I say? But you know what? We're talking about big and bad and great stuff. Okay, Costco's big, we know that, but it's great. You know what's big and bad? Like actually kind of bad? Starbrand, and it's actually really sad. Starbrand is incredibly disappointing, guys. I have bad news. Cozy and I came in at 4 stars. Cozy, it's not looking like Starbrand's going to be hitting 4-star territory. I got some really, really bad news from a win rate perspective. 46%. Cube rate negative 0.31. 7% popularity. The Sauron deck that you would have expected to play him in, running a 48% win rate. This card is a 310 just pile of poo. And it's so unfortunate. But you know what? I don't think it's Starbrand's fault. I think the Sauron archetype needs more than just Starbrand.
Yeah, there's too much going on with other decks. Too many things. Just look at Firehair, man. Firehair giving you a hood, you get 10 demons, you get 2 Iron Patriot cards back, and you win, right? With this, you're like, I hope my big stat wins, and it comes with this like 10 cons, right? Yeah, it's a bummer. I think, it really shows you where we are in Snap, and I think there are times in metas where like big stat stick is good, and it works. And there's times where it's like more combo centric or different. He just doesn't do enough for what he's bringing to the table.
I'm going to call it right now. Because I think that if you're going to try and fix Sauron and make it a playable archetype, Sauron turns into a 2-2. You heard it here first. Yeah. Sauron gets changed to a 2-2. And then you could play basically like Sauron on 2, Starbrand on 3, Typhoid on 4. And there's an actual curve. And at least the deck has some semblance of being competitive.
I'm glad you mentioned that because it's less of like the cards that are supporting it because they're good and they work, and you have Lizard and you have him, you have Typhoid, you have Red Skull. It's just like the order of the flow and like Sauron and like what do you do? It's just awkward. There's no like good curve play to it. It's almost like Black Swan at times where it's like it does great thing, but when do you play it with other things that you need to also do?
Yeah, it's like, well, Black Swan, the whole problem with Black Swan is like, how many hoops do I got to jump through to get value out of this card, right? And part of the problem with Starbrand and Sauron was that they occupy the same turn. And you have to play Sauron first. And so Starbrand turns into a turn 6 play under most circumstances, which also requires you to play Zabu on turn 1 so that you can Typhoid Marion Starbrand. Like, yeah, that's how you get that 48% win. The 48% of the time, it's because you drew Zabu on 1, and then you're able to play Sauron into Starbrand Typhoid. And the line had to be too specific, and ultimately, like, it just wasn't enough, man. It wasn't enough. And in all the other shells, he was actually working in Surtur from my testing, and in Surtur he has a higher win rate, but it's still not great. Yeah. But it's just because Surtur carried. You know what I mean? It's not because of Starbrand. Starbrand probably brought the win rate down for that deck.
Yeah, just other ways to get it done. There's just other ways to get it done. I mean, again, what I just said with the Hood and Misery and Firehair, like how many demons are you getting at that point that could just... there's just easier ways to get the stat sticks these days and more creative, like, ultimate deck synergy. And even more importantly is the stat stick decks are very straightforward, so there's not a lot of, like, Trojan horse going on. You know what I mean? They know what you're doing. They know what's happening. And so, like, with something like, again, I would just bring up Firehair, but with that, it's like, what is it going to do? Even the Nimrod deck you mentioned, right? It's like, it's so hard to calculate everything going on and like how much power is going to be. It's like, it's pretty, there's only 5 outcomes from, a Sauron deck, let's say, or Surtur. You can kind of do the math. That's where I feel like it lacks a bit. And yeah, it's just a card you can wait on at the end of the day. And if Sauron gets a boost, then great.
Yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, like, I came away disappointed because this was one of the cards I was most excited for because I actually liked the Sauron archetype. But
This
it's
was your
not
favorite
necessarily
card.
Starbrand's fault. That whole archetype's just not good enough. It's
Wasn't
just
your
that
highest rated, but this was your favorite of the month. I remember you saying this was your like most excited card of this month before.
simple. Yeah, and it disappointed me. It
Yeah.
let me down, Cozy.
Yeah,
it
big
let me
expectation, big disappointment.
But you know what almost never lets us down? Is spending $10 American on a season pass card.
I thought you were going to say
That was
Rickroll.
one of the best transitions in a while, Cozy. Usually you roast me for my segues.
Please
Please admit that was a good one.
I was gonna get. It was. I was gonna say Rick Roll. You know, never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna turn. Okay. Yes, that was a good transition. And with
Thank
that,
you.
and I killed it a little bit, but I had to say that Rick. Anywho, our season pass cards OP, Alex.
You know what? So this whole conversation kind of stemmed from there was a Reddit thread, right? Every once in a while I stumble in the Reddit. I don't know why I do it either, but I did.
You hate yourself.
And
enough,
someone said this is what they always do. They release an OP season pass card and they nerf it once the free to play plebs get their hands on it. That's their words, not mine. And then realistically, I was like, you know what? I don't know if that's actually true. We have seen some very highly impactful season pass cards. And we do know that Second Dinner has mentioned in the past that they want the season pass card to be meta relevant, and that they almost want the season to be not necessarily revolving around that card, but it to have a major impact. And I think one of the premier examples of this was the Loki season, where Loki was obviously overpowered, and they never wanted to nerf Loki. They nerfed everything around him. Collector got hit, everything else got hit, but Loki seemed to have this plot armor because he was a season pass card. So I just want to go through a couple things here, okay? March 2024, we had Hope Summers, which never got changed. We had Baron Zemo in April 2024, never got changed. We had Blink, May 2024, never got changed. June was Gilgamesh, that had to get buffed. Gwenpool was July, no changes. Kate Bishop with no changes in August. So already you have a big string of cards that realistically have all been pretty decent, have all found their places in the meta, but not necessarily game-breaking, despite the fact that they kind of carry their own there. You had the Symbiote Spider-Man for September 2024, which had to get buffed. Then you had Agent Venom, which had to get nerfed. Agent Venom was the first one, but now listen to this run. Agent Venom, Surtur, Galacta, Iron Patriot, Sam Wilson, Agamotto. So like I'm going through this list and I'm thinking to myself, okay, nah, it's not all that bad. And then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, these last 5 months, what are we doing? So I actually, Cozy, I'm hitting you with the hook here. I'm flip-flopping on my original play here. I was like, oh, you know, it's not that bad. Cozy, it might actually just be bad.
You know, here's the thing, though. I think at the end of the day, it's not rocket science. It's not that they planned this around how the game's doing it as a whole, but like, I think that cards that are super fun and like, there was a slump, whatever one you want to say, there's a slump and snap at one point, especially towards the end of the year, start of the year. And I think that, honestly, given to a lot of the creativeness of some of these season pass cards, it's kind of increased that a little bit. But yes, I think overall, they've always been a bit too good. I mean, like, you can look at it outside of, going back to Zabu and Silver Surfer and Hitmonkey, like, these are ones that are bang, bang, bang. They all had to adjust. High Evolutionary, another card that they had to adjust. Then you had Ghost Spider, obviously not, anywhere near there. Then you had Phoenix Force that got boosted right after that. These are just off the top of the head, right? And then it was like Dawkin, I believe. I don't know why I know some of this stuff. This could be out of order a bit, but
It's crazy, yeah.
Regardless, because it goes Dawkin, Loki, something Miss Marvel. What was October? I forgot. Elsa. So like, and Elsa got massively nerfed, right? There's been way more good overpowered season pass cards than there have been bad. Like a tremendous amount. And it's like a dance that they do almost. But we have been on a bit of a heater. That's for sure.
Do you think Agamotto's continuing the trend? Because some people seem to think he's not that bad. I think I don't want to
I think
change
Agamotto's great. I think he's very
I don't
interesting.
want to kind of disrupt your thought process here. Like, what do you think Agamotto is right now? Like, if you were to give him a star rating based on your opinion right now, like, what would you give him a preliminary?
I don't know. I could tell you that I'd give him a 5-star of uniqueness, fun, and like entertainment value. And that's what matters.
You like getting Wind of Watum hit every single time for slide to the right.
No, but others do. But others do. Like, yeah, that card's obviously busted. I mean, but like more of like, he's so interesting in what he does. He's like a high evolutionary. He's like an Airsham. And so like that was going to sell it regardless.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. It's worth noting as well that we focus in on the season pass cards, but we've just had a lot of meta shakers coming out lately. Like, it seems as though for the most part, most of the spotlight caches are actually really good. Like in the Symbiote Spider-Man season, it's easy to forget that like that was Silver Sable, Madam Web. Like remember the Madam Web season? Like Move people were rejoicing at the potential of what those Spotlight caches had. In the Kate Bishop season, you had Wiccan and Speed, right? And then in Agent Venom, I mean, the standout there is going to be Scream. Like Scream created a whole archetype. And so while the season pass cards have been good, I think that we've had many good caches as well. Is it just general power creep?
So Agent Venom's tough because like he was ridiculously broken. They had to tune him immediately, right? But like another thing about it though is that everyone swarms to it. So all like the brilliant minds and Snap, everyone swarms to the season pass cards to create the most unique decks and to create the most, you know what I mean? But yeah, power creep's just happening regardless. Like that's something that every game runs into at some point in time or another. And the OTAs always have that like vow release of that. Do I think they're too... I mean, we've had this discussion here before. Do we think cards are released bad or good? I'm always towards the worst side. You're towards the good side, I think. And we've had our discussions and reasons on why. I think the reason I would rather a card be a little less good when it comes out is because people are going to be hesitant to get it, and then it gets better over time. It's a lose-lose either way, because if it comes out bad and it gets buffed like Gilgamesh, it's like they weren't selling enough. They made it better. And if it was too good and it was bad, then you didn't get what you bought. So it's like either way they lose. But I do think that season pass cards will always be a little bit more interesting and or better most of the time.
Cozy, I'm going to hit you with the question that like, this is the hard one. This is like the setup. Okay, Cozy, do you think that there's any consideration for power of the season pass card versus potential revenue generation?
Yeah, did I answer that? Yeah, like definitely.
Okay, so you think that like you kind of joked about it earlier, but is there an opportunity for them to say, hey, we think that this card is more interesting and will sell more, as opposed to like if they're going to release 5 cards, do they say this one's the most interesting that'll sell the most, the rest are caches? Is that how you think they figure it out, or do you think it's more about the meta shakeup?
It's theming and or yeah, for sure. I mean, what I just said was, and it's not always the best, but it's what's the most unique and interesting, right? And that's literally outside of like Ghost Spider, which again, they probably thought that was going to shake it up a lot, like the move stuff maybe at the time. Because like Phoenix Force was not even close to the best card. Legion was. He was an S4 card, right? So sometimes they get it wrong per se. I think they try their best to get it right. But then if you look at Phoenix Force, it brought the most unique thing to it. It created its own archetype. So they're always going to sell that. Always. It's the most interesting, unique, or powerful thing. Usually.
Okay, that's absolutely fair. And for the record, I know it's throwing you on the spot. I agree with you. I think it's definitely a consideration that they have. And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Like, I don't know. Like, listen, the only reason why Marvel Snap has its lights on right now is because they sell season passes and they sell variants and their business makes sense, right? But at the same time, it's like, I just hope that they also sit down and say, hey, how do we make cards more accessible? And obviously the free modes have been doing, the gameplay modes have been very kind of resourceful in that sense.
It's going to get worse, but this is what I mean by that, and hear me out. I'm assuming whatever they do for new acquisition for cards is going to make it a way better to get cards, but season pass cards always have the limit of being a season pass card. So if cards get easier to get, season pass cards in theory down the line will, like after the month it's been out, but on the arrival month it'll be harder to get or stay the same, right? So like if you make, I don't know what they're doing, but if you make tokens, whatever it might be, whatever it is, that's going to be kind of a stopgate there a little bit, right? But it makes sense because you have, it does make sense. But what I'll say is like, you get all the other stuff with the season pass card, right? So you're paying what, $9.99 out of the US to get all the resources to set you up for the month plus the card itself. But if they make card acquisition 10x better, it's only going to make season pass cards feel 10x worse for those that don't get it.
I hear what you're saying, right? Because it feels like such an immense value right now. Although you do have to spend your $10, I'm like, try to buy any other card. $10 is an absolute bargain compared to like buying the tokens or whatever, or the $100 bundle for the variant for a card you don't have, or God forbid you spend money on the 4U bundles, or you can buy Mystique for $600, right? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like I see those tweets every once in a while. I'm like, buddy, like what is going on? Who programmed these 4U bundles?
Yeah, bro, right. I know. I got one the other day, bro. I was like, what the hell am I looking at? I got a 4U bundle the other day. It was like $99 for like a dinosaur and something else. I don't even know what it was. I was like, get out.
Instead of 4U, they should just put FU.
Yeah,
and then just
I'd probably buy it if it said FU. I'd be like, well, I respect the honesty. I'll buy it.
FU, here's Mystique for $100. You know what I mean?
Oh, fair. Yeah, I do kind of suck.
It sounds about right.
Yeah.
And I guess the final question I'll ask on this topic here is, so we definitely know that they're coming out stronger. What do you think Glenn's like target star rating? If he's going to use our scale, what do you think Glenn's target star rating for a season pass card is? Like, where do you think he's like? He's not releasing a 2-star.
A 4. I think a 4, unless times are rough, and it's a 5. But yeah, like, can I tell you something? Like, some things are obvious. So if you look at Captain America, Falcon, okay, what came out? What came out that same time that did? Game mode. Man. Game mode. Just a game mode. That'll help you out.
Obviously, it was the Sanctum.
And what was good in that Sanctum game?
Oh, damn. Was he good in that Sanctum mode?
Yeah.
He gave free points, basically.
Exactly. So, like, they know what they do. Like, you know what I mean? So, I whether it be a 4 or it helps out in some way, or it's like, yes, I think it's 4, 5. It's clearly never below a 3 because we've seen it been buffed. Like, the only time it's fallen that short is, like, Phoenix Force or Gilgamesh. And in those cases, it got buffed within a week.
Yeah. And I bet you, honestly, perhaps those cards just underperformed their expectations. Yeah. I think they're probably shooting for like 4.5, to be honest with you.
Probably. Yeah.
I think 5's too obvious. 4 might not make the suits happy.
Is Surtur too obvious?
Bro, Surtur was so stupid. We called that like from the get-go. And that wasn't even like a gutsy call. That was like, are they actually going to release this like this?
No, my guess is, dude, in September of 2020, was it 3 or whatever, with Loki, Mobius, Alioth, and Ravonna, I think everyone was hammered. I think either that or it was like corporate retreat. They went to Bahamas and they're like, oh God, balance. And then just it all came in at once. Or the show was just banging. They wanted to promote it. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that's I think they're OP.
Yep, buddy. And listen, if you think that was OP, you got to hear the worst segue ever.
That was
into
awful.
The Snapchat mailbag.
You just came off an S tier transition and then you hit me with that.
I know, I'm sorry, dude. To be honest with you, that was part of the joke. I knew it was going to be bad. I was leaning into it, but you laughed too hard. You kind of ruined the moment again. Before you ruined the good one, now you ruined the bad one. But you know what was ruined, Cozy, is my understanding of the American vernacular. Because we had a plethora of comments last week about everything. We got comments. We got to go to the well on next week too, because there's so much. But this one here, this is a series of comments here. Kane Spatty said, back blown out is a crazy statement. Followed up by Nova Clay,
I can't believe you
who said, you watched me blow my back out is wild. Followed by Steve Russell Wells, who said, hey guys, I'm a Marvel character designer on X-Men 97 who loves Snap and the Snapchat. As much as I want to comment something meaningful to the conversation, I just want to say that I've thrown out my back putting on socks almost 50 times.
Thrown out.
Cozy, I think something was lost in translation last week.
You said it on Twitter too, and I was like, you know, guys, Alex doesn't even know what a chorizo is, so like to expect him to know... Dude, when I read that one that said he watched me...
You watched me blow my back out is wild.
Stop
LOL. Just stop saying it. Okay, I'm gonna stop saying it.
It's like, oh, it's so funny. That was peak though. That was peak. Like Alex is too pure for this world. It was great though. It was good.
For what it's worth, man, I think that must be an American thing. If I said that like in class, I don't think anyone would even bat an eye.
No.
Don't test it.
No.
Don't test it. Okay, I'm gonna take your advice on that one. I'm not gonna test that. And then Lou Taro said the fact that Cozy is terrified by Alex's water usage shows that he's a true San Diegan.
Damn, I got the case of the game. Dude, people thought we were high last episode.
You weren't?
Oh no, I'm saving that for the next.
You aren't?
Yeah, wait, you're not filming all these high right now? Yes, I don't even think that makes me a anything. I think it just makes me a person. You know, I think anybody who takes 9 showers a day, 10 on a good day, you know, needs to be talked to a little bit. You blow your back out the shower.
How dare you, Cozy? You know I blow my back out 4 times in the shower every day.
There goes the sponsorship. There goes
They're all gone, buddy. The sponsorship, the monetization, the viewership, it's all gone. It's all gone. Everything's gone. But okay, should we try to transition this into a real Marvel Snap question? Because, or else, there's going to be someone in the comments that's going to complain that the Snapchat mailbag has nothing to do with the Snap.
Good. Yes.
Like the guy who always comments actual podcast starts and always puts the timestamp because he hates all our intros.
Oh, that's my favorite guy. That's definitely the guy that's like, it'll be 6:30 a.m. PST. No, 6:35. We're 5 minutes late. It's like, where the hell is it?
Yeah, and then comments about how he hates everything we talk about other than the star ratings.
Bro, all I know is we're going to do a lot more off the beat topics after last week. This week's like a shorter episode, but usually, yes.
Yeah. Okay, Cozy, I got one last one here.
Okay.
This is a real Marvel Snap one for the people that are interested in Marvel Snap. Gerald Dube says, I wanted to shout out Esme Cuckoo, being such a cool card design from a lore perspective. She is biologically the daughter of White Queen, who is now a 3-costed 4-power card, and Ismay, which I probably said wrong again, also has a bunch of clone sisters, so her being a 3/4 making 3/4 copies is super cool and fitting. I just love when they do lore accurate cards.
That is cool. I also name a better combination than us naming the same names wrong in these Marvel characters and getting just flamed in the comments for it. But yeah, that is cool, man. I always actually like to know. It's not often I don't know Marvel characters, so it's cool to learn. I just had a memory. I was on the cast for the Rivals cast, and this guy goes, "How good's your Marvel knowledge?" And I was like, "Bro, like a 10. Like what do you mean?" And he's like trying to hit me with a character I don't know, and I was like, Esme Cuckoo. And they're like, "What?" We're deep in the Marvel Snap well, or Marvel well now these days.
That's absolutely hilarious, dude. That's hilarious. And once again, I want to just reiterate how awesome you're doing on Marvel Rivals is Pro Tour there. Like, it's incredible, and your knowledge of the game really stands out in your commentary, just like it did at Deadpool's Diner when Cozy Snap and Alex Coccia
the last time we did
took to the kitchen. Can you believe that we've only been on one cast together in Snap?
One cast together, and it was a bot fest. That was all it was. And they're like, "Thanks, guys. Have a good one." And we were like, "Oh, okay." That was it? That was all they wrote. It actually makes me mad. It's gonna just steam people up more about the Rivals thing, but it makes me mad how much Rivals has given into their competitive scene, and just like, my God, could it be so sick? It's too late. It's gone. It's never gonna happen. But like at launch, if they would have just dipped into the competitive scene to Snap, because like, God, it'd be so fun to cast at a high level. I think Snap is just so, and there's room in between plays to have a really intriguing, like just fun conversation. And so like, I wish they did. I do.
Yeah, there's like no downtime, and if they had done a competitive tournament, Cozy, I could have finished number 1 every single time, and you could have finished number 1 every other time, I guess. Cozy, we would have dominated the actual competitive scene. That's actually untrue. We would have just cast it, I'm sure. I probably would have gotten smoked. But it's okay. You know what? I know my role. I love it. Thank you guys so much for joining us on the Snapchat podcast. We appreciate each and every one of you. And guess what? This next one's going to come even quicker than last time, only a couple days away, and we'll see you on that next one.